Good morning, day, or afternoon. No matter what time it is, I'm Cookin' Stew, and welcome to my channel. This is my first video underneath this name. I had a couple uploads under a different name, and they didn't do too well, so going for a restart here. And those videos I didn't use my voice in either, so we're jumping in with a fresh start with today's video. Of course, it's going to be about Joji and his 3 newest singles out, and they are all on his album Nectar, which is coming out June 10th this summer. I'm very excited. It's a whole 18 tracks. To give you a little bit of a comparison, Ballads 1 was about 12, so get 6 more songs right off the bat, and that's super cool because he's been making the best music he ever had. So this video is going to be detailing my thoughts on where he's going with the story. It's my theory, so you can either agree or agree to disagree. It doesn't matter to me. It's just I wanted to share my thoughts. And it's going to be heavily based on the videos for these songs. So make sure you go check those out on 88 Rising's YouTube channel. They're all phenomenal songs if you hadn't heard them already. And the videos are amazing too. I love the creative mind that Joji has for these videos. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to point out was the order of the songs in the album. As you can see here, Gimme Love is at song number 6, and then it follows by Run at 7 and Sanctuary at 8. So keep those in mind when I'm going over the videos. I assume the story is going to follow in a pattern like that, or there'll be flashbacks or nightmares of some sorts, which is a little hint to my theory later. Now I'm actually going to go about these theories and how they connect in the order that he released the songs, so that I can really capture my thought process with this, because when I first saw Gimme Love, it was like with all the knowledge I already had, so I'm going to bestow that upon you now. Once again, I am assuming that you've seen these videos already, and I'm just going to go ahead and explain them with the knowledge that you already know what happens in them. Throughout Sanctuary video, we see that Joji is a lost captain of his crew. They have defeated their main supervillain and arch nemesis, so they have no purpose anymore. The main takeaway from this video is that the only human on his crew is this man right here. And as we know, at the end of the video, Joji's good friend and co-pilot, if you want to call it that, this man right here, because he's friends with Joji and he sees how miserable he is, he decides to become the new supervillain so that he can have a purpose. For those of you that have doubts that that man was the only person on the ship other than Joji who wasn't an alien, this is the only other candidate I can see from this video. And I don't know if you can tell from this photo, but she's got slight bristles type texture on her nose that they definitely did makeup for her to make sure she didn't look human. So there's my explanation for that. Moving on to Run, which, keep in mind, in the album is before Sanctuary. As for the video itself, it has a lot of hidden things in there, as Joji likes to do, a lot of themes that go along with the song lyrics. But the main thing to get out of this is it doesn't look pleasant for Joji. It looks like he's running forever to try and get out of this endless limousine. And by the end, he has to smash through the glass at the end. It's kind of a symbol of him breaking away. The main part of this video I wanted to talk about, though, was the end scene after this whole video. After he gets out of the limousine, after it all wraps up, there's a little bit of a end credit scene, if you will. And it has some ties to the rest of the videos. This is the whole kind of the knot that ties things together. So as we see Joji running away, if you start to listen closely, you can start to hear the little wake up things coming through, and those are in his teasers for Gimme Love on Twitter and Instagram, which I thought was interesting, and that seems to be a reoccurring theme. After Joji does wake up from his tinfoil bed, we can see that he's very alone on this ship of his, and we're not sure what the outside looks like because it never pans to the outside of the ship, which I'll get to the significance of the ship itself later. Now this is something that is a callback to the Sanctuary video, because if you see in this photo right here, here's Joji, and here's his best friend, and here's some of his alien crew. And keep in mind, this was very confusing because the order of the album. Run is before Sanctuary, so is Sanctuary, like the video at least, like a flashback of better memories? Because Joji seems very alone on this ship to the point where he's looking at photos from the past. So maybe the Sanctuary video was him reminiscing of the good times that he had with his alien friends that he discovered. I would like to mention that throughout this whole thing, it's the guy in the background still going, "Wake up," and he eventually says things like, "Please hold," and other stuff like that. That guy in the background, we don't know. That's an unsolved mystery right now, along with this photo of what seems to be a van. And it doesn't look like an alien planet or anything, it kind of looks like Earth. So maybe this is one of Joji's first cars back on Earth or something. This is just an unsolved mystery at this point. We have to wait for other videos and songs to come out that are on Nectar. Once those do come out, I will probably make a follow-up video that ties the new information together with this video. Another important thing I wanted to mention about this video is the fact that we are in space, indeed, and in a spaceship. And once again, the fact that Joji is very alone and seems to be missing his home on Earth by looking at this picture so long, and it looks like he really regrets something. I also wanted to point out the actual structure of the cockpit here, and all the buttons and the placement of them. That'll come up later in the video again, but trying to figure out what ship Joji is in is going to be a big thing for the story progression. Something funny I just wanted to point out, it looks like this is just a regular gaming chair, just black, that they put in there for prop. I just thought that was kind of funny to point out. But there wasn't much left of this video, kind of just zooms out and he throws the picture and the keys to the right of him here, and he seems pretty upset and alone. After that, the video just blacks out and we're left with an abyss and mystery. Alright, moving on to Gimme Love. It's currently 33 on trending, which I think is really cool. Main difference between this song and Run and Sanctuary is that it's very upbeat at the beginning, very happy, kind of go-lucky, makes you want to dance. In terms of the video, is also very different because it's a bunch of 1 second-ish clips that just mashed together to try and tell this story, where, at least for the first half, where Sanctuary and Run are nice production, long cuts that make a lot of sense. These seem like they're thrown together in a way that it's like a scrapbook of a long period of time, but in about a minute and a half. At the middle of the song, there's a drastic change in the video, and it no longer becomes those short second clips, it becomes a straight cut like the other videos, and the music hasn't altered as well. It becomes this super long, beautiful tone that is reminiscent of his other vocals on Run and Sanctuary. From what I could gather from these 1 second-ish clips is that Joji was working with some sort of space corporation, and he was, I don't know, an engineer or chief, whatever, but it was a lot of his work got put into this project, and a lot of things kept going wrong, and Joji just kept getting more mad. People were losing body parts, ears were bleeding, stuff like that. It wasn't okay. It was a disaster, and it was probably covered up by the government. I assume Joji was a man who admired his work. He was very hardworking, and to the point where he'd lose sleep sometimes just to get something accomplished. So, the project, or building the rocket, wasn't perfect, so I assume they made Joji an astronaut as well, just to make sure the project goes through as they wanted to. As we see in the video, Joji makes a great escape from reality that he's been living in. I think they had a mission plan with the 3 other astronauts, and Joji was there to make sure it went through correctly, because he created this thing and this mission. We don't know what the mission was supposed to be. Maybe it was to find aliens somewhere, or just go to Mars. I don't know. We don't know. But once again, I am emphasizing that he's in a rocket by himself. And he's going to space. I don't know if you can see where this is going, but Sanctuary is in space. The end of Run is in space. This is obviously how he got to space. And as we see throughout the video, he was not supposed to do this at all. It was a complete hijack of the situation. He lifts off the rocket by himself, gives the freaking chief executive whatever, the bird, says screw you, I'm doing what I want, and he goes to space by himself, and it's pretty much leaving a message on the people of Earth. Like, he just wants to be left alone after these years of hard work. I'm not sure if he had a plan on what to do once he got into space. He probably did, because he worked on this whole thing, but even then it's still just making a statement. At this point, Joji is left with the option to eject or engage. And from what we see in Sanctuary and Run, he's still in space, so he definitely did not hit eject. He definitely hit engage, and he's going all the way through. Let's just take a quick look at the cockpit here. Like, I just wanted to see if there was any differences to the cockpit in the end of Run video, which I do see one already. It's the chair. Not a gaming chair, this is an actual spaceship chair, it looks like. Looks like they rented out an actual ship to do this, or maybe like just built it, I don't know. But either way, very impressive. So already from the chair, and maybe some other lights in the spots they're in, we can tell it's not in the same ship. And at the end of the video, there's some sort of countdown in the back here, probably to when he's going to engage after he pressed the button. There's a little brace countdown, so it's not caught by surprise. But he does seem a little exhausted here. Maybe it's the G's getting to him, I don't know. Nevertheless, this was a great video, and the end of it was very mysterious. I just want to go back to Sanctuary real quick, and just to show what the little ship looked like. This is the ship that Joji was in with his team, and this is the little escape pod that his friend takes at the end to attack the ship with, so that they have a purpose again. As you can tell, this is not a rocket. This is definitely not a rocket. This is a spaceship that looks very futuristic with this huge light on top. I don't even know what that is, but what I'm getting at is it couldn't possibly be the ship that he takes off in Gimme Love, because this is a rocket, as we saw in the footage. Like, right there, that's a rocket ship. That looks nothing like this. One thing I forgot to mention from Sanctuary is the choice of clothing on Joji. He's wearing a white shirt and a golden necklace, and we see that exact same outfit in the Run video. Though the shirt is a little bit different, it is still white, and there's still a golden necklace outside of it. We also see in Sanctuary that he's got his spacesuit down at his waist there, and it's got a little pin here, and it's actually slight gray tint with some black stripes on him. He has the same style thing going on in Run, where it's tied around his waist, but it looks like something else this time. Maybe he just changed from the spaghetti strap type thing to a short sleeve and then a different type of pants, just because make it look like it wasn't on the same day, you know. Of course, you're probably asking, where the heck am I going with all this? Look at the spacesuit he's wearing in Gimme Love. This is a bright white suit with blue thumbs and red lines. All of the suits in the other videos are either a dark gray color or just straight up dark all the way around, and they don't have any red on them, and they don't all have the blue fingers either. So I just thought that was interesting, because he might have multiple spacesuits on that rocket that he lifts off in. I don't know. It's just all speculation at this point. So how does this all fit together? Well, the big wrap up is here. He uses Gimme Love to steal that rocket and shoot himself into space, right? Then after living up there for quite some time, he finds a bunch of aliens and he forms a crew. I'm not sure how he gets the aliens or what planets they come from or how he gets there, because I don't think a rocket can just land and take off like that a ton, you know. He probably found another ship, which is probably why he has another ship in Sanctuary. Just saying. But anyway, he has a wonderful time with his crew, and somehow they get disbanded. They all go their separate ways. Maybe this is after he defeats his best friend who became the supervillain. Maybe he defeats him and then he also doesn't have a purpose again. Or he doesn't win and all of his crew dies and then he has to leave. We don't know. But what I'm getting at is that run from the video. He wakes up at the end. Couldn't this just have been a bad dream about something on a planet that we don't know? It looked very not like Earth. Maybe it was just a desert on Earth somewhere with a really long limo, or it was a planet, a moon, I don't know. It could have just been a bad dream about some experience he went through, and it might be a repetitive dream, we don't know. The point is, he wakes up on a ship, and on that ship there's a picture of the crew from Sanctuary. So the order here is significant because I think the telling of Sanctuary in that video is a flashback sort of thing and like a reminisce of the good times in the past. And it's kind of triggered by Joji looking at the picture at the end of Run and just getting upset with himself because he's so alone now. But as of right now, that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'd like you guys to comment down below your theories, what you might have agreed on, what you disagreed on, what you think I missed. Anything or anything. Tell me this video's trash in the comments. I don't care. The whole premise of making this video was for fun, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I'm super excited for the rest of this album. 18 tracks is still a huge number to me. It's blowing my mind. And the fact that he's doing it through this harsh time, this pandemic, if you will, is the greatest thing to me. But there we have it, the connection between Gimme Love, Sanctuary, and Run, brought to you by me, Cook and Stew. That's all for me right now. See you next video.